Welcome everyone for another session of Paripasnena session, the book reading by Guru Maharaj. So let us do Mangalacharan. Namo Vishnupadaaya Krishna Prishthaaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Charu Swaminiti Namine Snigdha Cheta Supranita Vagmam Charasaplatam Prabhupada Gatatan Nomi Bhakti Charvidam Namo Vishnupadaaya Krishna Prishthaaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय हरे कृष्ण so we begin reading let me share the file Krishna
I think Gira Shubhu is joined.
okay
Hare
so we'll
Krishna.
begin reading Hare Krishna Prabhu. Okay, so we'll begin the reading. Pariprashnen question: what to do when one's country is at war? At war. Answer by Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj. These wars are material mundane. Therefore, devotees do not become involved in them because a devotee does not have a nationalistic and patriotic feelings. A devotee should see whether it is for Krishna or not. Usually, when there is a war, one has to work because the situation at that time is completely different. One has to use his Krishna consciousness and common sense to deal with it. One should not worry who is fighting who. Rather, one should take the opportunity to chant Hare Krishna and make everyone else chant Hare Krishna. That should be our attitude. In this connection, an example of Srila Prabhupada can be cited. During the Second World War, Japan was planning to bomb Calcutta because it was a big British base. They did not have anything against India, but India was a British colony. The British had their army base in Calcutta, so the Japanese wanted to bomb the city. At that time, everybody was leaving, everybody was running away because the city was going to be bombed. Do you know what Prabhupada did at that time? He took up the mridang and kartal and asked everyone to chant Hare Krishna. In fact, the Japanese did not bomb the city, rather Desh, Belgium. Question: what should we do about the opposition that we face from the outside world? Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not bring any weapons in Kali Yuga because if one starts fighting in Kali Yuga, there will be no time for devotional service. We should just keep on chanting the holy name of the Lord, and Krishna will take care of us. In Kali Yuga, if a fight starts, then it keeps going on and on. Therefore, we should all tolerate. Following Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Sahishuna. A few years ago, there was a movie which portrayed devotees as hippies, and there were people who were accusing devotees of being the CIA. The movie and the accusers are gone, but the Hare Krishna movement is still going on. Satyamev Jayate. In course of time, the truth will prevail. So if we hold on to the truth, there is nothing to worry about. April 2008, Ujjain, India. Question: what will happen to the wife who is chaste but also attached to her husband who is not a devotee? If she is attached to her husband, she will make progress because she is pious and chaste. She will get a very, very pious man's body. August 1984, Heidelberg, Germany. Question: Does one get benefit? Does one get benefits such as removal of all material miseries and attachment of all auspiciousness in the beginning stage of devotional service? Guru Maharaj: No, because we have anarthas. The appearance of Kalesh Agni and Subhada is at very advanced stage of devotional service. We have received the Bhakti Lata beach and it is being cultivated in the field of our hearts. The development and sprouting of our seedling, development and sprouting of our seedling will lead to the stage of Kalesh Agni and Shubha. Then it will gradually develop into the ultimate point of prem, which will become moksha laguta krit and Shubha. It is very rare and it makes even moksha, liberation, appear insignificant. We are fortunate that we have obtained the seed of pure devotional service from Srila Prabhupada. And from the seed of pure devotional service, only pure devotional service will sprout, not mixed devotional service. Srila Prabhupada mentioned that everyone in ISKCON is a pure devotee, including Bhakt Jo, who joined the movement yesterday. In the same way that a green mango eventually turns into a ripe mango. All one needs to do is keep following Srila Prabhupada and stay attached to the tree of ISKCON. In the beginning, there may be some material desires, but in the due course of time, these desires will disappear and we will achieve pure devotion. April 2009, Tobacco, USA. Hare Krishna. Yes, Anupma Mataji, you can read.
Hare Krishna. Question: How can we conquer fear? Bhakti Charu Guru Maharaj. The root of all fear is the fear of death. This material body is extremely fragile. It is not only temporary but extremely fragile, and when we are alive, we are constantly trying to protect it from all kinds of dangers. That is the natural tendency of our material existence. Bhayam Dvaitya Avinishya. Because we identify ourselves with the body, we experience various kinds of fear all the time. However, when we realize that our actual identity is the spirit soul and the body is the external covering, then only can we become completely free from fear, because the soul is external and immortal. The soul is not subjected to any material condition. It cannot be cut with any weapon. It cannot be burned by fire. It cannot be drowned in water, and so forth. His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami, Personal Dictations. How can we become free from anxiety? Bhakti Charu Guru Maharaj. Anxiety also is a kind of fear. In order to maintain ourselves, we need to make various arrangements. And when we fail to make those arrangements, we become anxious. However, when you become situated in knowledge, then you can see how Krishna is taking care of us in all respects. He provides us with all we need. He supplies all the food we need to eat, all the water we need to drink, all the oxygen we need to breathe, etc. However, due to our forgetfulness of Krishna, we do not recognize how he is taking care of us. And as a result of that, we think that we have to make all the arrangements ourselves, and recognizing our inability or failure in our endeavor cause ourselves anxiety. Technologically and scientific advancement in the modern world made life extremely complicated. This development made our lives dependent on so many artificial things. On top of that, the greed of a group of people has made things available only in exchange for money. As a result of that, everything has become extremely expensive. So everyone has to engage all his time in earning money to maintain himself and his family. We can make a simple consideration. When we are little children, we didn't experience any anxiety because we knew our parents were there and they would take care of us. However, when we grow up, we cannot depend on our parents anymore. Rather, our old parents now depend upon us. Everyone thinks that he is on his own. Rather, our old parents now depend upon us. Everyone thinks that he is on his own and has to make arrangement for himself and his dependents. Krishna consciousness is teaching us that Krishna is taking care of everyone. And we see that Krishna is taking care of everything through his divine arrangement. An endless amount of food is arranged in the form of fruits, vegetables, nuts, and grains. They generate abundantly in nature from seeds. Krishna distills water, salt water from the ocean and supplies us with water in the form of the rain. An endless supply of oxygen is there through the trees and plants that inhale carbon dioxide and exhale oxygen. The earth is moving with tremendous speed, and although we are situated on the surface of the earth, we are not thrown into outer space due to his arrangement gravity. His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami personal dictations. Question: does a person have to give up everything to join the Hare Krishna movement? If so, then how can businessmen and professionals attain love of Godhead? Bhakti Charu Guru Maharaj. We need to give up only four things: meat, eating, intoxication, gambling, and illicit sex. Otherwise, you can keep your money, house, and wife. Anything you want to give to Krishna, then you can. This is the meaning of joining the Hare Krishna movement. Love of God is not external, it is internal. Arjun was not only a devotee of Krishna, but also one of the greatest warriors. He was not a sannyasi, but a prince, 100 times busier than any businessman or professional today. In the scriptures, it has been said, Sthane stitah shruti gatam tanuvan manobhi. Whenever a person recites, he should worship the Lord with his mind, body, and words. In this way, when one serves Krishna, he attains the love for him, who is called as Ajita or Unconqueror and will be conquered. September 2015, Ujjain, India.
Hare
Question:
Krishna.
should
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, next, Ronnie Prabhu, you can read.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yes. Should we be worried about someone who is getting credit undeservingly? Srila Bhakti Saraswati Guru Maharaj. We should not desire credit because it is Maya. Krishna consciousness means desiring no credit. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. Shikshashtakam 4. We should not worry about the business of others unless we are guiding them. Do not desire credit. Do not want it. That is the best way to deal with it. One should read Srila Prabhupada's books and associate with devotees if one wants to get rid of the desire for credit. In July 2015, Ujjain, India. Question: does a devotee also become a ghost on account of accidental death? Guru Maharaj. All those rules do not apply to devotees. Accidental death for a devotee is different. Example of this are Abhimanyu and His Holiness Kumar Krishna Maharaj. Devotees are under Krishna's care, but even so, one should not commit suicide. When Chota Haridas committed suicide, Mahaprabhu approved it. He became a Gandharva. October 2010, Ujjain, India. If someone serves only according to his or her capacity, then will there not be a lot of undone work? Guru Maharaj. Due to Krishna's arrangement, there are people who like to do different things. Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha. Therefore, there are four classes of men. The first are the thinkers or the Brahmins. then the executives or kshatriyas. After that comes the mercantile class or vaishyas, and finally the labor class or the shudras. The last class of people just prefer to act under someone. So whatever we need done, these people are always ready to do it. This should solve our problem. January 1988, Kino, Switzerland. Can we resort to violence trying to protect cows? Guru Maharaj. In Kali Yuga, we should not take to violence. Everything depends on how dedicated one is. If he is fully dedicated, he will give his life, and if not fully dedicated, he will try according to his capacity. If he is not at all dedicated, then he will not do anything. But one thing I can guarantee is that if we give up our lives trying to protect the cows, if we have that much conviction in Krishna consciousness, we will certainly go back to God. A very nice example is our Seat Vas Prabhu from France. He took a vow that up until his last breath, he would protect the cows. January 1988, Tikino, Switzerland. Is it possible for a person to remain a brahmachari throughout his life? Guru Maharaj. It is possible. That is why so many people endeavor to achieve it. One must also remember that the ashram does not really matter. The material situation is not important. It is one's inner mood that is the main consideration. For example, if one sees that his house actually is the temple of Krishna, then he is the ideal householder. He sees his family members as the servant of Krishna and himself as a servant of Krishna as well. He is taking care of the temple of Krishna and Krishna's devotees. In this way, he does not have any feeling of me and mine. Everything has become Krishna's. Lecture on Madhurya Kadambi. Should we give priority to regular donations to the temple or to family health emergencies? Guru Maharaj, one needs to decide for himself. Our understanding is that the real watering of the plant is by watering the root. The root here is Krishna. The ultimate point of offering should be Krishna. At the same time, we do not expect that one will give all his money to Krishna. We know that one has to maintain one's family. So if someone in the family becomes hospitalized and needs money, we should help. We should not be heartless. If one has made a sankalpa but cannot give to Krishna now, in the future one must give it to Krishna. Because when one decides to offer something to Krishna, one should do it. July 2015, Ujjain, India. Is it true that in the Vedic times, all impious people used to take birth outside today's Bharatvarsh? Guru Maharaj. In other ages, people took birth in different places according to their nature. People who were in the mode of goodness were born in India. Then Europe was for the mode of passion, and people in the mode of ignorance took birth in Africa. However, in Kali Yuga, everything is upside down. It has been said in Bhagavatam that in Kali Yuga, the lamps will burn with the wicks pointing downwards. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada had to go and make devotees in a place like America. And following the Americans, people in the whole world are becoming devotees. May 2015, Ujjain, India.
Hare
How is this?
Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Okay. Next, Meenakshi Radha.
Hare Krishna. Question. How is the nature of people in Kali Yuga different from in other yugas? Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj. In Kali Yuga, people are more demonic, which means that their demonic propensity is intensified. September 2010 to Jan, India. Question. Is there any joy in this material world? Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj. The material senses are give happiness, which actually is a pain. When we are in a painful state and the suffering is reduced, to some extent we feel happy. On the material platform, there is a happiness which is actually the cessation of pain. There is no joy. Joy is diametrically opposite to the pain or suffering. If the pain is a darkness, the joy is a light. Now, the darkness, one cannot understand what light is. Joy is a spiritually phenomenon. Joy is not a product of material nature. To experience joy, we have to place ourselves on a spiritual platform, and only then we experience it. April 2007, Melbourne, Australia. Question: is the limited amount of enjoyment available to the soul in this world due to its shrunken size? Bhaktichar Swami Guru Maharaj. It is through the body that the soul is suffering or enjoying. The body is said to be enjoying or suffering depending upon whether the senses are pleased or displeased. But the consciousness is coming from soul. It is the soul that is registering, but it is incorrectly projected the consciousness through the body. The soul is not the body. As far as the size of the soul is concerned, we should note that the size of a soul is not material but spiritual. We will never be able to see it with the material eyes or imagine it with a material mind. In material world, the soul has lost its spiritual shape because of the consciousness coming from the spiritual spark is being projected through the body. The calculation about the pleasure is made in terms of a sense gratification. Only when one becomes engaged in devotional service does one develop a spiritual senses, and those spiritual senses derive pleasure from being connected to Krishna. Krishna is Anandamay. So when the soul is connected to Krishna through his spiritual connection, then he also becomes Anandamay. April 2015, Ujjain, India. Question: how do the living entities come into the material nature from the spiritual nature? And are they generated by the Lord? Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj. Krishna's incarnations are innumerable, and so are the living entities. The living entities are from the spiritual sky, and they are not generated in the material nature. It is due to the glance of the Supreme Lord Mahavishnu that material nature become activated and the living entities come into the material nature. When he withdraw his glance, all the living entities go back to him, but they go back to him in an unconscious state, similar to the deep sleep. Although they go to the Mahavishnu, they are not aware that they are with him. May 2013, Gita Nagari, Port Royal, Ujjain. Question: why did we come to this material world? Bhakti Chara Swami Guru Maharaj. To become a devotee of Krishna. That is the purpose of human life. We are getting an opportunity to become a devotee of Krishna, understand Krishna, develop your relationship with the Krishna. This is the only thing a man can do that an animal cannot. You should serve Krishna. In this way, you will become a devotee of a Krishna. And finally, the purpose of human life will be achieved. It may sound good to have a lot of money, a nice family, and a friend, but at the time of death, all of these will become zero. A sober person should not squander this opportunity of spiritual advancement, but become a very good devotee of a Krishna. September 2010, Ujjain, India. Question: why is a devotional service necessary to enter the spiritual realm? Bhakti Chara Swami Guru Maharaj. When you want to go to different country, you need a visa. Without a visa, one will not be able to allow to enter. A visa to a spiritual realm is only obtained by devotional service. To stay in a house of a great person, you need to have a relationship with him. Therefore, in order to enter the spiritual world and stay there, one need to have a relationship with the Krishna, which is realized by the devotional service. October 2010, Ujjain, India.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Radhaji. Okay. Next, Pinky Mataji, you can read.
Hare Krishna Guruji. What is the difference between the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and the Gayatri Mantra? Bhakti Chara Swami Guru Maharaj. The Gayatri Mantra is defined as Gayantam Trayate iti Gayatri. that which by chanting a person becomes delivered is called Gayatri. Gayatri mantra has three aspects: the seed, the name of the personality whose mercy is invoked by chanting it, and the elaboration. Gayatri mantra is a secret mantra which reveals spiritual knowledge. The Gayatri mantra was given to Brahma by Krishna, and by chanting it, the Vedas became revealed in his heart. Then this knowledge was passed down through the disciplic succession. The origin of the knowledge is planted in the heart of the disciple in the form of the Gayatri mantra. However, the Hare Krishna mantra is the Maha mantra, which is the direct aspect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no secret as it is all name. It can be chanted softly or loudly. The former is for deliverance of oneself, and the latter for the whole atmosphere. There is a difference in the practical application. For chanting Gayatri, one needs to be a bona fide Brahman. But the Hare Krishna mantra, by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, can be chanted by anyone at any place under any circumstance. Under September 2015, Ujjain, India. Question: what is the difference between staying within ISKCON and out of ISKCON?
Bhakti Swami. ISKCON means the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, and spiritual activity means Krishna consciousness. So this is a society that gives you a chance to be Krishna conscious and become spiritualized. When we are in a spiritual society, we automatically become spiritual. In ISKCON, we serve Krishna, and since he is spiritual, that service makes us spiritual. But if someone leaves ISKCON, then he ends up doing all kinds of mundane activities. January 1983, in Paris, Germany.
Question: what is the difference between our philosophy and that which was
presented by Sri Ramanujacharya, Bhakti Swami? When Ramanujacharya was presenting the Vaishnava philosophy, he was presenting it to the atheists, the Advaitvadis, who did not have any concept of God. Shankaracharya propounded that the theory that the material nature is unreal, and beyond that everything is real. He gave the statement of Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya, and in support of that he gave the example of one taking a rope to a snake in the dark. When a person perceives something under these circumstances, so it is unreal, he begins to act anyway. It is obviously not very intelligent. This theory claims that there is some real food in the reflection, but the real food does not exist. To convince such philosophers, Ramanujacharya said that it is true there is no snake within the rope, but some blood snake must exist. Otherwise, why is one mistaking the rope for a snake? If the snake did not exist, then the question of mistaking the rope for a snake would not arise. So the snake must exist somewhere else. Similarly, this material nature is not the reality. The reality is somewhere else. Therefore, Brahman is not qualified. Brahman unqualified Brahma. It is qualified Brahman. Brahman has variety or spiritual variegatedness. In this way, Ramanujacharya made the Advaitavadis understand that he was talking about the spiritual world, presenting it according to their perception, knowledge, and understanding. The concept of Achintya Veda Veda Tattva, the inconceivable simultaneous oneness and difference, seems Same as Ramanujacharya's argument. The reality is material nature, spiritual nature is the external energy, and spiritual nature is the internal energy.
The reality is the material
Nature and the jivas, living entities, are the marginal energy. Material nature is the external energy, and spiritual nature is the internal energy. The jeev has the ability to either remain in the material nature or in the spiritual nature. The jeev persists according to his position. When he is material, then he is deluded, and when he is spiritual, then he is in reality. This is the ultimate essence of the whole Vedic philosophy. But when somebody rejects this aspect of the Lord, confusion arises, and he has all kinds of misconceptions. Therefore, Achint Veda Tattva means that the living entity and the Lord are qualitatively the same but quantitatively different. One cannot approach the Achint Veda unless he has the understanding of material and spiritual nature and the jivas. When he accepts the laws of spiritual nature, he understands who he is. January 1983, Heidelberg, Germany.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Vedant. Okay, Anand, lastly, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Babuji. Question. What is the actual meaning of non-violence? Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj. According to scripture, violence means to hinder the natural spiritual growth of an individual. Violence is not just a physical thing. Materially, it is to inflict physical or mental pain. But the ultimate consideration is spiritual. Everyone must go to Krishna, and if we hinder a spirit soul in doing so, we are violent. Srila Prabhupada pointed out why Gandhi had no effect. Prabhupada went as far as to say that India would have been better off if the British were here today. Prabhupada was very straightforward. The British were exploiting the country and we thought it was bad. But now the Indians have enslaved the Indians. The political leaders are not benefiting the country. They are exploiting people because every year the tax rate is going up. November 2006, Ujjain, India. Question. Under what conditions can a devotee make rapid spiritual advancement? Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj. One consideration is the mercy of Krishna and his devotees. Another is advancement from the previous lifetime. When one has made a lot of advancement in the previous life, then in the current lifetime he reaches the same stage very quickly. In relation to the second consideration, Rup Goswami says that the devotional service once performed is never lost. Lecture on Madhurya Kadambani. Question. What happened to the subtle body at the time of death? Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj. At the time of death, we become free from the gross material body, but the subtle material body carries the soul to the next destination according to our karma. When you are dreaming, it is real. It becomes unreal only when you wake up. We go through dreaming when we lose our spiritual body. This is the time when the soul goes through all these hellish material experiences until we wake up in a spiritual body. This is all the arrangement of Mahavishnu. Everything he has created is real. When it is in progress, the dream is also real. In fact, the whole concept of material life is a dream, and it turns out to be unreal once one wakes up to the spiritual reality. May 2030, Geeta Nagari, Port Royal, USA. Question. What kind of piety does one receive by chanting the holy name? Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj. By chanting the holy name, one gets spiritual piety, which brings him closer to the spiritual sky. ISKCON, Radhadesh, Belgium. Question: what is Mahabhav and by whom can this be experienced? Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj. Mahabhav is the highest spiritual emotion that can be experienced by the gopis of Vrindavan, but generally it is reserved for Srimati Radharani. That intense loving mood in separation is displayed by Radharani, and because the other gopis assist her, they also experience the same mood. Radharani is the personification of Mahabhav, and therefore it is reserved for her. But sometimes assistant gopis feel this emotion. ISKCON, Radhadesh, Belgium. Question: what is the difference between spiritual and religious? Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj. Bona fide religion is the science of understanding the spiritual reality. In such a case, there is no difference between a spiritual person and a religious person. However, if religion just means faith without any systematic scientific understanding, then there is a difference. In that case, religion will change according to one's condition of birth, such as Hindu, Muslim, or Christian, etc. And it will not be truly spiritual. In the ultimate sense, a spiritual person is a truly religious person. January 2010. Question: are there animals in the spiritual sky? Sorry, are there animals in the spiritual sky? Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj. Yes, there are devotees who have animal bodies. There are trees, plants, butterflies, birds, insects, all are there, but they are all spiritual. There are even apparently inert object like a pillow and a bed. They are also conscious. They are all living entities. They are also Sat Chit Anand. In the spiritual sky, even a pillow is spiritual. A pillow is a living entity. We know that Sudarshana, the Lord Disk, is also a person. The decision as to the type of body one obtains is entirely up to Krishna. In the spiritual world, everyone is self satisfied. There, if one is an insect, then he does not think of becoming a cowherd boy. Everyone is perfectly situated. August 2011, Radhadesh, Belgium. Question: when does one become perfect? Is it only when he goes back to Godhead or when he is still in the material world? Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj. There are two stages of perfection. One is called Swarupa Siddh and the other is called Vastu Siddhi. The Swarupa Siddhi or Jivan Mukti is the stage when one is situated in his Swarupa, in his spiritual identity. But he stays in this material nature. Iha yasya harer dasya karmana mansa gira nikhilashva api avasthasu jivan muktasa uchyate. Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 1.2.187. When one becomes a pure devotee of Krishna, or when one serves him constantly with his activities, karmana, mind, mansa, and words gira, he is considered to be liberated. When one is situated in the Swarupa Siddha stage, he can do this. Sadhana means the practicing stage, and Siddhi means the perfectional stage. When the perfect person leaves the material world for the spiritual sky, it's called Vastu Siddhi. But both this and Swarupa Siddhi are the same stage. For example, the ambassador of South Africa in India remains South African as well as in South Africa. So once you have perfectly developed your relationship with Krishna, then whether you are in the material nature or spiritual nature does not matter. You are in your perfect position. April 2010, Ujjain, India. Question: when Krishna departs from this material world, where do the devotees go? Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj. There are three possibilities. They can go back to the spiritual world with him. They can go to the heavenly planets after completing their tenure, or a part of them can stay in the heavenly planets, and one part can go to the spiritual sky. August
Hare
2008,
Krishna.
Ujjain, India.
Thank you so much, Martin. Nitya Haripriya Mataji, you can read.
Hare Krishna. Question. Please elaborate on the absolute nature of the Lord. Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. The spiritual nature is absolute, and on the absolute platform, everything is absolute. In mathematics, there is the concept of infinity. Infinity defies all mathematical laws. If you add, subtract, or multiply something by infinity, it remains the same. Similarly, on the absolute platform, everything remains absolute. On the absolute platform, the Lord plus all his energy makes the Lord, and the Lord minus the separated energy is still the Lord. Krishna is Ekam Advait. Krishna is Ekam Advitya Param Purusha. He is one and only Supreme Personality of Godhead. We have to understand that, and this is an inconceivable concept, but we can justify it with our spiritual understanding. January 1983, Heidelberg, Germany. Question. Please shed some light on the concepts of karmic reactions and the corresponding relationship with parents and children. Also, please help us understand how 7 generations of a devotee are delivered. Guru Maharaj. Concerning 7 generations becoming delivered, it is better to just accept what the scriptures tell us, because there are certain things we cannot directly or experimentally verify. We will not be able to travel to 7 generations either in the past or in the future. Karmic reaction is rather simple to understand. To every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. That is not only a principle in physics dealing with matter, but it also applies to living entities. As you sow, so shall you reap. As you act accordingly, you will get the reaction of your action. Because of this principle, the living entities are transmigrating from one body to another. Concerning a father and children, a certain individual with a specific karma comes in contact with a specific parentage. The souls of the parents and the souls of the child do not have any spiritual connection. The connection is karmic connection. The spiritual connection is established only when the activities are on the spiritual platform. Question. I understand that the spiritual body is not made of matter, but such Chit Anand. What is that exactly? Guru Maharaj. There is a body called the spiritual body with hands, legs, ears, nose, mouth, and it is made of a Satchit Anand, which is the spiritual substance. We will not be able to understand that until we go to the spiritual sky. The shape of the body will be according to our service to Krishna. It will also differ according to which mellow one is situated in. As in Krishna consciousness, we do not decide ourselves how we will serve, but leave it up to the spiritual master. In the same way, how our spiritual body will develop will be decided by Krishna. If we develop a relationship with Narayan in Vaikuntha, then we will have a 4-armed form. But if we develop our relationship with Krishna in Vrindavan or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Navadip, then we will have a specific form according to that relationship. August 2011, Radhadesha, Belgium.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. And we thank all the devotees for joining us for today's session. We come to our end. So we'll continue reading from next week. So thank you so much. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. Jai Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Hare Krishna.